Good afternoon and welcome to Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth Show, where we are returning youth and young adults back to a productive life after incarceration. Please visit returningyouth.com and donate today. That is returningyouth.com. We are live on the radio to over 30 million homes on WPAT 930 AM every Friday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're streaming live on Facebook at facebook.com/returning youth. We're also on YouTube at YouTube, and you can search for Returning Youth. Dr. Khanna is an attorney, a child safety advocate, and a servant of the underserved, and a champion of the nonprofit Voice of the Kids. Dr. Khanna launched his post-incarceration Juvenile Justice Reformation Act initiative, also known as the Returning Youth Initiative. Dr. Khanna saw that the Reformation Act did not adequately care for ex-offenders once they were released, and he decided to address this with the Returning Youth Initiative. And he provided post-incarcerated young adults and youth with housing, training, along with the required medical and psychological assistance needed to secure a job, build their careers, and greatly improve their lives. I'm your host, Angelica Robinson, and I am here with a lot of team members from the Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth program, folks that are working behind the scenes every single day to make this initiative a reality. So we've got Sharon Miller today, who is one of our producers and beast behind the scenes, that does so much for the work, for the company, and for the initiative, I should say. And we also have our very, very, very special guest. You guys have seen him before, Ryan Fegan. Hi, Ryan. Welcome back.
Hello, Angelica. How are you today?
Oh, I am fantastic. I'm feeling it's Friday. Happy Friday to the both of you.
Thank you. It's been a busy week. There's a busy week for Dr. Khanna's initiative this week. So last couple of weeks have been really exciting. So glad that I could be with you today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, and since it has been a busy week, let's just jump right into it. I mean, what is going on? And we've got a lot of new updates that are going on with the initiative. And so let's jump into updates first on what's new.
Well, a lot of the new things. We're jumping out into a lot of new states, new areas. We've got some exciting things going on out in our Safe Haven location out in Hamilton, Montana. Dr. Khanna was just out there. He's finalizing setting up a partnership with Marvin Vision Center to help provide job opportunities for post-incarcerated folks out there, get them into the optical careers, give them lots of training with business ownership and that kind of thing out in Montana. It's a much needed business opportunity out in that area, and we're excited to be unveiling that. We're going to be having a big fundraising dinner and just community awareness event coming up in about a week. And so more information is going to be coming out for that. For anybody that happens to be out in that area, any of our audience that's in that area can certainly look into that. We're also going to be doing a similar type of thing with our folks, our partners in Elkton, Maryland. We just opened a facility in Elkton, Maryland, which is really exciting. I was just out there last week, and we were partnering up there with Marina Med Spa to get to again provide lots of opportunities for post-incarcerated folks. We got a Safe Haven opening up out in that area as well, and it's just it's very exciting. We're getting ready to do the same type of thing with the Marvin Vision Center folks in Las Vegas as well. So that's those three things are just tip of the iceberg for what we're working on. But that's where I've been focusing my energies the last several days. Just making sure that all those things are the collaborations are working, that it's going to be beneficial to our participants and our post-incarcerated individuals to provide them opportunities. It's exciting, and it's providing jobs and things into those communities as well.
So you mentioned that there was a community service event that's coming up.
We're gonna have an event in Hamilton, Montana. We're going to be having another one in Elkton, Maryland. But it's basically going to be a fundraising dinner and educational seminar. Basically, let people know what we're doing, what we're involved with, how they can help, and how they can become involved. So we're always looking for help with, always looking for people that are interested, people that have been through this or familiar with folks that are post-incarcerated. We're trying to, obviously money makes the world go round, and so we're trying to make sure that we bring awareness to what we're doing so people can donate both their monetarily and as well as their time. We need we can always find uses for folks, and then from that we're spawning off other events to do some other activities. So
these are in-person events. These are not virtual events. These are in-person.
These are in-person events that we're doing, and we're trying to as I said, we're getting more and more information. These things are literally it's hour by hour as how things are growing with our initiative. People are getting as more people find out, they get excited. They want to be involved. So we create new opportunities, and we've had the opportunities to do that, get additional volunteers, get additional people on board to help spread the word out and do the work that needs to be done. And as I said, it's there's a two-pronged approach to how we do what we're doing. Obviously, we want to help the post-incarcerated individuals. We want to help them get educated, get them educational career paths and those type of things. But the other end of that is this part of it, which is helping the society to understand the role that these returning folks can have, that they aren't, that the person coming out of prison is not summarized by the charge that sent them there. They are not defined by that. We want to demonstrate to society with many of the folks that we have been involved with, people that have been coming through our program, show that they, the society's better off with them included than having them excluded. And that's a big part of what we're trying to do as well, community outreach through all of this.
So with those specific community outreach events that are happening, since these are live and in-person events, I mean, are some of these locations already like set in stone, and like, are there any kind of safety precautions because of what's going on in the world with this new wave of COVID precautions with the Delta variant? How are we keeping those folks safe? Anyone who would want to come to support these events and this outreach, and do we know any of that stuff yet?
Well, absolutely. Those are things that we were hoping we would be moving beyond, but I think that's a reality that we have to face, and we continue to partner and work with the local authorities, local healthcare professionals, to see what's going on, because as I've traveled around seeing this, obviously the precautions, the realities on the ground in the world are different in different parts of the country, and so we're working with the individual communities, and that's something that for that particular event we are providing that as it goes along. Some places the professionals are still getting back to contemplating requiring masking again, and some of them are I'm sorry, I got a text message coming in, but some of them are requiring are not are little less with that. So we're working with the local folks to make sure, obviously, the health and safety of everyone is important and critical to us. So yeah.
So I mean, obviously, do we have physical locations yet? Is there an address that we can give to people, or just or a date, or save the date that we can let folks know about events?
We know that the one in Montana is going to be next Saturday. The 31st.
That's soon.
Yes, next Saturday we have an event. We have our fundraising dinner in Hamilton, Montana. And you can check our website on that one. And I think there's social media posts gone up about that. Unfortunately, I don't have the contact information in front of me for that event, but they can reach out to the local director and state director there, Carrie Anderson, and she can provide that information. And I will Sharon may have her contact information, and I apologize. And then
I'm
in
pulling
Elkton,
it up as we're speaking.
yeah. And then in Elkton, Maryland, where we are trying to finalize the date within the next couple of weeks for our facility there. But that has not, where the date and when, or the when and where has not been finalized, but that is in the works. They're trying to work and lock that down with the caterer and the venue. So we do have a physical location in both of those places where we're operating. It's just logistically it may be easier for us in Maryland to do it at an offsite location rather than where we are, because of various things going on with construction and parking and that kind of thing with our location.
So I have Carrie Anderson's telephone number for anybody who wants to get more information on the Montana event.
Do we have her email address? I prefer to send it that way, Sharon, if you can.
It's Carrie, Kari, at returningyouth.com. So again, it's Carrie, Kari, at returningyouth.com if you want information on the Montana event.
And this information will also be on the returningyouth.com website, correct? Like so folks can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's under media.
Okay.
There's information about it.
So we can go to returningyouth.com, click on that media tab, and you will see the event information as it comes up. If you don't see it right now, check back in a couple days, as we will be updating that as we have more information about those various events in Montana and in Maryland. So again, be sure to check returningyouth.com. And if you can't get to either of those cities, you are more than welcome to just click that little donate button on the returningyouth.com website, and you can donate from your couch.
And there will be information on the event calendar as well. It is just not up right now, so it will be up hopefully later this evening.
Cool. And if you can't be at one of those events, keep watching, because there are going to be events coming all across the country. I'm having the luxury, the privilege of visiting all different states in this wonderful nation and meeting people, and we will be unveiling events similar to this in throughout the country. So just keep watching, and we'll have that up, and that information will also be updated. So anyone in wherever your local state or wherever your local community is, there'll be something coming forward for you, hopefully in short order. So
one of the biggest things that I know that we were working towards earlier in the summer and spring of this year, late spring and early summer of this year, was really about getting this initiative nationwide, getting across all the various counties within the nation. And so, or at least within the continental US. And of course, we do want to get to those US territories as well. We have definitely expanded to several states already in a very short amount of time. And we have also reached out. We have now, even within the last 2 weeks, have expanded into a few more, right, Ryan?
Yes, we are putting together teams in each of in multiple states. We've got folks in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, as I said. We're also getting teams together in Illinois, in the Chicago area. Northwest Indiana as well, Gary, Hammond in that area, also Indianapolis, getting folks in Los Angeles, Houston, throughout the state, multiple places throughout the state of Florida. And then obviously, trying to go into and get locations throughout New York City in various areas there, serving different communities. So we're looking in the process of getting it into Harlem, Washington Heights, and just and other places as well. And just to name a few. But we just as I said, and Las Vegas is coming on board pretty quickly. As is, I think Salt Lake City will be there pretty soon as well. So we're spreading out everywhere. We've got there's always people that are contacting us, people that we're reaching out to, trying to make collaborations, partnerships up, working with folks. And then just, the groundswell. It's amazing, Angelica. It's heartwarming for me because when I got involved with this, it was something that I thought as a vision. But when you get out and you talk to people, the groundswell of excitement, people wanting to help, wanting to be involved, recognizing the need, and saying, and And in fact, I had a conversation with a gentleman waiting at the ticket line at the airport as my flight was canceled last Friday because of the storm. I was talking to a gentleman from Denver, telling him about what we did, and he says, "Oh my gosh, that is a dream." He says that's exactly what needs to be done, and no one has done that yet. Mm-hmm. And you know, just the excitement of
on
when
a
people find
national level, no
yeah, but you'll see people doing bits and pieces of people doing things, but to combine all of the elements, the medical, psychological, the job placement, the life skills, all of these things on a national scale, coupling that with the entrepreneurial aspect of this, the job place, not just jobs, but career direction we're providing for folks, all for just willing to people that want to help, and we're doing this with a groundswell of support from communities, from society. We come into the community and tell them this is what we want to do. People get excited, and it's because they believe, they want to believe in this, and this is something that and it's exciting for me when I can come in and say, hey, we've got a physical location in your town. Here's what we're doing. Getting people on board that want to help. It is overwhelming. It's something that the Dr. Khanna saw the need. He heard the rumblings and he put this together, and it's life changing for me, and I can only imagine it's going to be life changing for so many folks in society as a whole. I'm very excited about that.
And we're still looking for county managers right across, the nation, across various states. We still need county managers, which you can find out about becoming a county manager and joining the team on the website as well, right? That is all that information is available to also be able to support how you can join the team, how you can become a county manager. Those types of elements are also on the returningyouth.com website.
Yes, and anyone that wants to do that, feels called to help in that capacity, there you can do that through the donate button on our website. They provide your information, what you want to do, but you can reach out to me directly at Ryan at returningyouth.com, and I will be happy to provide them with any information, get them registered and get them going, and that's and I think if we can get that. But if anybody wants to reach out to me directly, because we are always in need of people, and there's always, and it's amazing the people that reach out to me have ideas that I've never thought of that we could use. I was getting my hair done a couple of weeks ago, and thankfully I still have hair. It doesn't seem like it, but I do still have some. And the lady was asking me. She said, and she asked me what I did, and we were talking. And she says, "Oh my gosh," she says, "how can I help?" She goes, "Do you need people to do haircuts and do makeup for people and this kind of thing and help them get styled?" And I'm like, I never thought about it, but yes, absolutely. And, and so even that kind of thing is having folks that step in addition, you go on a job interview, help somebody get a haircut, get their makeup, get themselves looking and feeling better about who they are, to go out there and make their appearance match the new them. And those kind of things. So anyone that wants to help in any capacity, we can find a use. We can find a need. There's definitely a need.
I was like, it's not even just trying to make someone feel better, but realistically, in order for someone to be employable or by an employer or to simply just be able to walk out in society and not have an immediate judgment placed on their appearance, it is an actual need to be presented in a way that doesn't look like you just got out. You need to have your hair done. You need to have grooming and your hair in a tidy and presentable way. It's not just your own personal feel good thing, but it is actually a need that is to be acceptable within society. And so it is such an important element that someone would even donate their time, services, talents to teach people to do those types of things. That's wonderful. And so, yes, I mean, I really think it's really important for folks to understand any kind of gift or talent that they have, whether that is knowing how to change oil or a tire versus knowing how to braid hair versus, you know, applying makeup. Any of those types of skills and talents are applicable, or even someone that, you know, knows how to make coffee or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as simple as, can I get my cup of coffee, right? You know, and it's a skill, okay? To be a barista is a skill, because we've all had that one cup of coffee where we're just like,
See, I'm not a coffee person, so you're not speaking my language, but I certainly understand the sentiment. That's
right.
I'm one of those freaks that doesn't drink coffee, and I know Starbucks people wouldn't approve of that, but
or tea or cocktail,
okay,
or whatever it is.
Okay.
You know, some folks, they need that in the morning, or afternoon or night, whatever time. But all of those things, those are life skills.
Absolutely.
And that those are things that our post-incarcerated youth and young adults need, because I mean, let's be realistic. If you're not taught when you're 12 years old and you're incarcerated for 5 years, where are you supposed to learn?
Absolutely.
Right.
That is definitely the thing that we find is, you know, we turn these folks out. They've been in there since they were 12, 13 years old. They get to 18, 19. They come out and they're now expected to be adults. And they were children. They were definitely children when they went in. And they don't have that. They've never been taught those things. And that's another aspect of what I think is very important about how we present this, how Dr. Khanna's program does this, because we take that whole look of what skills do you need to be integrated into society, not just job skills, not just how to do these, but how do you make your bed in the morning? How do you, what's important about, basic hygiene, teaching somebody how to teaching a young man how to shave, how to, or how, having somebody how to apply makeup, how to do any of these things, how to, those skills are often overlooked. And we've got people out there. And as you said, Angelica, you have to be able to do that in order to not get that judgment. And unfortunately, that's part of society. But
and these young people are expected to know stuff the moment that they, the moment they get out, because of their age, which is such an unfair advantage. And so, which is why it's so important for programs like the Returning Youth Program to provide those necessary life skills. Not only that, but the mental acumen and acuity to be able to process all those feelings of frustration, not being able to, when you're learning something for the first time. It's like riding a bicycle. If you don't learn when you're 5 years old and you try learning as an adult, riding a bike is really difficult and can be very, it's like when you are over 70 trying to learn a new computer program. It's frustrating.
Absolutely. And that's why we, one of the reasons that the name of our community centers is the Safe Haven, because it's a safe place for them to come and learn these things and get and deal with folks that are like them, that have some the same struggles, or going through or have been through many of the same struggles. And and that's why Dr. Khanna always often will say Ryan is the one that came up with that name, but I'm like, it's what it is. It's a safe haven where they can come in and learn the things that society demands of them. Society expects that you know how to do these things, and they don't. You go, just as you said, think about how much technology has advanced in the last 5 years, and if you don't have that, you're not there. Even if I've spoken to working mothers that are going back after raising their children, trying to go back into the workforce 5 years down the road. How much has changed from what they did? And these are folks that that is someone that's been out in society. When you have someone that's not been there and coming in as went in as a child, coming out, they're lost. And that's that's the heartbreaking, the struggle part. And then when you see that you make that connection, and all of a sudden, this young man is making coffee, and he's doing these things, and he comes walking in and he's proud, you know, those accomplishments. And you got somebody in there that patting you on the back saying, you know, we understand it, we get it. This is a big deal. What you're learning, what you're going through is a big deal. Society may not view it as such, but it is for these individuals.
I mean, honestly, like many of us, like say we get a brand new cell phone, right? Now we are out, we are free, you know, all those things. We get a new cell phone, and now there's a learning curve on how we're supposed to, you know, adapt to using our new cell phone and finding all the apps and doing all this. Imagine if you are incarcerated for 10 years and technology has changed just that quickly in a 10-year span. Now, most of us get a new cell phone after what, 18 months, 2 years, maybe at most. You know, we all got the replace my iPhone kind of situations or whatnot. And so, you know, every 18 months, we're relearning and reprogramming ourselves to kind of rethink of how we're adapting to this thing. But if you have been completely away for 5 or even 10 or 15 or more years, to try to, that learning curve is so much more of a gap. And so it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes individuals that are willing to also be teachers and mentors and leaders to help other folks really get on a somewhat level playing field. And the playing field still isn't level, but to at least kind of get up to, you know, the game that we're in, you know. And
absolutely. And that is you know, there's so many different things, but you know, also just the psychological aspect of that, the feeling like you're not the only one dealing with that is a huge factor. And I think just all of society, you know, and that's part of, you know, Sharon and I, you know, talk frequently about this, that we have, you know, we want to have an initiative that speaks to everyone, that everyone that looks to what we are doing, they see someone like them. There's someone that looks like them, has been through their similar experiences. We want to have, you know, we want our you know, our folks, you know, we want post-incarcerated population. It comes from all aspects of all walks of life, all races, ethnicities, everything that you can imagine. And we want everyone to feel that that's, you know, it's a reality. We you know, and we also want to make sure that society sees that it's not just inner city minorities that we're talking about. They are obviously very, you know, underrepresented, underprotected in many aspects of society, but it's not just that. And we need to show, you know, show society at large that this is everybody. This could be anyone's child. You know, we live in, you know, you live in someplace in, you know, rural Alabama. It can be your family member just as much as it can be somebody who lives in an affluent area in Virginia. It can be any, you know, anybody's, you know, and that's part of what this is. And every person that goes into that environment comes out with that feeling of isolation. They feel, and you know, and that's what we want to help. We want to help them get through that, understand that we're here for them, and that you know, that you know, our society is you know, our initiative is there for them, and we want you know, we want everyone to understand that. We want society at large to appreciate that too, and that these folks have a lot to offer. And so we have, you know, that's why we do the community outreach, and you know, and I think, you know, as society evolves and changes, you know, we're hoping that we catch that. And you know, people ask me, how long is this initiative going to last? Like, as long as it's needed, but hopefully, you know, it'll outlast me, but hopefully we can transition it to other things, because we've solved, you know, we've changed society's mind. We've changed society's view of these folks. And that's what we're
have a jail system. This initiative needs to be in place. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So long as we're operating in a society where they are incarcerating individuals, there needs to be a way, a path to a real path to rehabilitation, a real path to reentry.
Right.
And so like no matter what, this type of initiative needs to exist, even if our society magically gets better one day and our racial issues are solved. If that ever happens, regardless of which, if we are still a society in which we are incarcerating our citizens or incarcerating peoples that live within this country, then we need to have a clear path to reentry once you are post-incarcerated.
Absolutely. And another, it is, and unfortunately that's a necessary part of that system. As long as there's incarceration, there'll be post-incarcerated people. But what we also are hoping to strive in this is to create enough of a presence that the young people that otherwise might be tempted to go to the life of crime will see enough examples and mentors in their life, in their community, so that they see that there's an alternate path. So we can help what some would call the pre-incarcerated, the folks that aren't there, that are at risk of going down that path, and helping them to realize that the things that we're teaching the post-incarcerated people, many people, young people that haven't been there, need to know.
Fact that the word incarcerated even exists, it's bothersome to me, because then there is the assumption that there is these group of people that are at risk for incarceration. Well, why is that? Why are these people at risk of incarceration? Nobody should be at risk of incarceration. Nobody. No matter where you live, you should not ever have to be at risk of incarceration. The fact that we label folks as, oh, this is a pre-incarcerated person is putting that as my mama would like to say, generational curse on somebody. But right. but really, like, saying, okay, you are predetermined to be a bad person, and so, or predetermined to be a criminal, or predetermined to be incarcerated, and so we're going to treat you as such, which is insane.
Right. And I think it is. Right, it is. And I didn't mean, when I say that, I'm just using the term that we hear. But I think what we are looking at is that there are many factors that lead people into that crime, and for the a lot of that is access to economic justice and liberty, opportunity to jobs, and access to jobs and advancement. And we need to focus there, and making sure that people that are in in all parts of society have the opportunity, have the access, and they see that there's jobs available to people when they get to an age where they're looking for one. That's the avenue out, is that they have they can provide for their families. They don't have to, out of desperation, look for other alternatives. And that's unfortunately is all too often, that's where we find is that folks don't see that they have an option, and we're trying to provide that option. So when we go into a community, we go in to set up our safe havens. We want those to be places where we provide educational support, educational opportunities that can bleed over into the rest of society, not just the folks that are post-incarcerated coming to us, but that we can create the job opportunities, we can create the economic opportunities for folks, give them the ability to make a living wage, give them the ability to see themselves in that role, see themselves as a successful person. And unfortunately, there's in many areas that there's that role model, that vision is not, it's not reinforced for a lot of young people.
Ryan, you mentioned that, and I know that one of the things I noticed the other day, or in conversations the other day with one of my clients down in Louisville, they're a large commercial construction company, and I had mentioned that we had Marvin Price on the other week, was talking about the program he has with the technical schools, and it was amazing to me that, I mean, they like perked up instantly, and they said, we are constantly looking for people to come to work in our contracting business. If you bring that technical program here to Louisville, please let me know, because when they come out of that program, we want them. And it is a major issue.
So, yes.
Go ahead.
No, I think Sharon, you're right. I think what we have is, we need to make these programs, these educational opportunities, these job opportunities accessible to everyone. And that's what we have lacked in many areas of what we're doing, of what's been done in the past. Is we look at people and we say, okay, it's we don't, we only put certain types of industries in certain parts of towns. We only put certain things there, and that's got to change too. But the pictures is, let's give people hope, and that's what we talk about, is restoring dreams, restoring hope, and letting people see themselves being successful and understanding what they can do to be successful and how they can get there, and how we will help them get there. But they put the effort in, we will provide them the opportunities. And that's we can't do the work for them, for any of these folks, and that's not what they're looking for. Most people that are coming through Dr. Khanna's program are coming to us with out of the incarceration system. They want the opportunity. They want the opportunity to be taken seriously. They want the opportunity to be heard. They want the opportunity to provide for themselves, for their families, and they want to be treated as a productive member of society. And we take that and give those opportunities to them, make that dream, which shouldn't even be a dream. That should just be the reality. That should be, but give them that, and let that, and give them access to that, is what I'm seeing for the excitement of people when we bring these facilities into communities, bring our initiative in.
I know the other week I was sorry, Angelica, I was talking to a young gentleman, and I made the comment about Returning Dreams fundraiser, and he said, oh my goodness, that's amazing. He said, I was post-incarcerated. I'm a post-incarcerated individual. He said, I was in jail for 4.5 years, and he said, when you come out of jail, he goes, you don't really know what your dream is, but you've got a lot of dreams, and they happen every single day. And he said, I got out of prison. He goes, I just dreamed of going to McDonald's and buying a soda and a Big Mac and sitting in McDonald's and looking out the window. He goes, that was my dream. He goes, because that's all the further I could get that dream. He said, and then after a couple of days down the line, my dream became, maybe I can get an actual real job and turn my life around. And he said, and then that became my dream. My dream became, how do I get there? How do I get there? And he goes, and unfortunately, I did not have a lot of help. He goes, I had to go do it on my own. And he said, I fought and I fought and I fought. And I fought myself from one job to the next job to the next job. And now he works a job at a stone company. He's got a really great career. And that's it. I mean, that's where you got to get to. You got to get to that career. He said, and now I'm allowed to have other dreams. He goes, now I want to own a home. He said, I own my own car now. He's like, I got a great job. He said, now I want to own a home. He said, but ultimately what I really want is I want people to stop looking at me like I was the person that was arrested and I was the person that spent time in jail. He said, because I'm not that person anymore. And he said, that's the biggest issue he sees, is that there has to be some societal changes to realize that, we're not all the person that's going to go back to jail, that a lot of us make it out. And Ryan mentioned that earlier. And I think, Angelica, we've had that conversation about needing to figure out how to make that societal change.
I agree with you, Sharon. And to that point, it's really crazy how we talk about, you just mentioned, this person's dream was to simply look out of a window. This person's then dream was to then get a job with a livable wage. The fact that, like, a lot of people, they enter into an American society and they really think that you are born with certain rights. A livable wage should be something that you can get with any job that you have. If you work a full-time job, that full-time job should theoretically be a livable wage. Maybe you're not living in a, high fancy, all this, that, the other thing, but you should be able to provide for a place for yourself, be able to take care of your basic human needs, feed yourself, buy groceries, whatever. But the reality is that most people that work 40 hours a week, and I'm not talking about incarcerated folks, I'm talking about the mom that's got a kid that, works 50 hours a week at her minimum wage job, and she still cannot pay her rent or buy groceries for her child and herself, and so there's such a big societal shift that has to happen. Otherwise, we're going to continue to have a society, the capitalistic society that keeps people who were already born into a level of poverty. Now they have no choice but to continue in that, which of course continues that wealth gap, which keeps people in desperate situations desperate, and so they go to desperate measures because they have no choice. And this can be it doesn't matter what race you are, color you are, whatever, because anybody who is desperate enough or hungry enough or thirsty enough, they will do what is necessary because they are human to get those basic needs done. And now society is going to say, well, you're going to be incarcerated because you stole a bag of chips because you haven't eaten for 3 weeks. Okay, so now you're in jail for shoplifting and they want to arrest you for 3 years because you're a brown person versus 6 months because you're a paler skinned person. So we have these kinds of ridiculous dichotomies of unfair sentencing. We have ridiculous, and the longer someone is incarcerated, now they then have an unfair advantage. They now have a bigger wealth gap or generational gap. If that person has a child, now that person is without their parent. Now the child is without their parent for however many years, which affects their entire family dynamic, which affects generational wealth, which affects generational poverty. And so now, it's such a big issue to try and this can all be fixed if we had livable wages,
right,
or affordable housing, like simple basic human needs of food, right. And so in a country that is so wealthy, the need for a returning youth initiative seems like, well, why do we have to have that? But we clearly do.
Yeah.
And without the help of, donations from community members, from individuals to help support initiatives like this, we will continue to have a society that feeds a capitalistic world that is dependent on slave labor, AKA the jail system. And it's just, it's so frustrating to think about that in a big picture way. And and there's the one thing that we can do is that we can support programs like the Returning Youth Program. And so we really have to work with community leaders, work with community members, work with individuals, folks that are listening right now, to really strengthen the initiatives that are working on a national level to fight recidivism. We have a responsibility to do that.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree with you more, Angelica, what you said. I think And as we get the word out to people and we show what we're doing, and that's the part, because people it's a need. It is a generational changing need. It's something that we can do that changes, it can change a family forever, good or bad, as you said. And if we can break that cycle, get these folks opportunities, livable wages, get them out of that poverty, that dependence on everything, get them where they see the freedom and the liberty that they can experience. They have control over their own life again. We've seen so many people, and as what Sharon was talking about, the thing that struck me when she was talking about the man with his dreams, and I hear it a lot, is that, well, folks coming out, they don't know what the word yes means. They've been told no their entire life. You can't do this. You're not qualified. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough education. And then you go to prison, and everything is very regimented. So when you come out, the thing that we would say is, let them live, let them understand that no is only one half of the equation. There are many, we want to give them the yes. We want to give them, yes, you can do this. Yes, I can do this. And let them believe and understand that, and give them the means to do that. Because when you go through life and everything is a no, it's impossible to maintain hope, to maintain faith, to maintain any sort of optimism, because there's not that opportunity. But if you let folks understand and see and show them, and provide them the avenues to make yes a reality, and that's where we are. But it's not, and it's not something that and unfortunately it's not something we can change overnight, but we can change an individual life, and take it one life at a time. And when we look at it, the big societal thing, it's overwhelming. But what I look at is the individual young man that's coming out of the jail system. And I talk with him, our county managers talk with him, case managers talk with him, find out what is his goal, what is his dream, what is he good at, what does, and find those skills, because everyone has unbelievable skills that we can use. We talked about it before, when people can volunteer with whatever skills they have to volunteer to help the initiative. People that are incarcerated have unbelievable skills, talents, and if we can show them ways that they can use those, and we can utilize those as society and pay them fairly for those skills and those abilities, it's a win-win. Everybody is better off in that scenario. And it's just a matter of taking that individual person, making them believe it, making it a reality for them, so that they can bring their family, their children along, and other people see that, and we just build from there. And is it going to be, is it something that is an easy fix? Absolutely not. If it was an easy fix, it would have been done.
Right.
But it's a challenge, but we found the way, and we have a dedicated team, and we're excited that people all across the country are getting the opportunity to hear about Dr. Khanna's initiative, to find out how to be involved, and the ways that they can they can do this, because it's amazing. This impacts so many people that we don't have no idea. And when you talk to them, wow, they see the value. They definitely see the value. And if you show them, we're not just like some other organization. We are here for the long run. This is what we're doing. This is our plan, our strategic plan. We have it laid out. It works. It's repeatable. And it's a repeatable model that's tailored to the individual person. We look at that person and say, what does that individual coming out of prison, what does he or she need to get them where they need? Yeah. Or they. Yes, exactly.
And I want to highlight something that you said, Ryan, because it was really, really important. what sets Dr. Khanna's initiative apart from other initiatives is the fact that there is that mental health aspect, because the mindset of an incarcerated person, mindset of a post-incarcerated person is different from someone who has not ever been incarcerated. Someone who is used to hearing the word no, it is difficult for them to dream. It is difficult for them to imagine what yes sounds like, feels like, having the understanding of knowing that no is just half of an equation. That whole understanding is a whole mindset shift and paradigm shift of how we can really look at life. I just want to briefly mention there's a wonderful song, and it inspires me a lot, and it's called Superposition. And it's by Daniel Caesar and John Mayer. And one of the lines in that song says, "I've got everything I need, time and space to think and breathe." And the thing is that people don't, when you are struggling and when you're doing everything you can simply to survive, when you have to work so much that you don't have the time to plan for your future because you have to focus on working just to survive, when you're in survival mode, you don't get that time, that luxury, that privilege to simply think and dream and imagine and wish and hope and have those goals. You're in survival mode. You're just trying to eat. You're just trying to not die. And that's a reality for a lot of people who are in an incarcerated position or even a post-incarcerated position. They are simply trying to survive. And so having an initiative like Dr. Khanna's program, where you now have mental health services that will help you be able to shift your paradigm and shift your mindset into thinking about goals and dreams, and knowing that no is only half of an equation, and understanding that is really a key aspect of why this initiative is so important and why we need so much support from anybody who is listening to this show.
Absolutely. And I think there are so many opportunities. There are so many people out there that are struggling, that they see that. We want people to know that the folks in our initiative care. We want this. We're not doing this for pats on the back. We're not doing this. We're doing this because people, it's a need. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to have the education and the experiences and things to be able to do that. I've been able to been blessed in a lot of ways. And I also have been through some struggles, and I see, not to the extent that many of these folks have, but I understand that concept. And I want them to understand that we're there, and it is it's not a cookie cutter fix, and because people coming out, we look at society and I'm like, okay, just throw money at the problem, it'll go away. And if it were that easy, oh my goodness, the amount of money we spend on our education system, we would all be brilliant. But that shows us the amount we spent on the war on drugs, we would have nothing, no problems. But what we need is, we need people to listen. We need to let these folks know that they heard, and that what they have, that they're valued, and and that's what it's about, changing the narrative in society, and changing that narrative that's in their head, because they see it. And that's the mental health aspect of this, is getting there and understanding, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to let you tell me, and then you tell me what you want, and then we'll devise your solution. And that's what it's about, person by person, individual. And that's why we, when people are coming in, they're assigned a case manager, someone that can handle that case, handle them. set their goals, help work with them individually. Because we're a nationwide organization that's got 3,000, over 3,000 locations, 3,000 safe havens are going to be opening up across the country. But that doesn't matter to that person. That person that's coming out, they need for us to hear him. He needs to be heard, and that person needs their dream to be realized, and that's what it's about. And so we need people to help us. So.
Right. So folks, if you are listening, please visit returningyouth.com. Click that donate button. Any dollar amount helps. You do $1, do $10, do $100, do $500, whatever you can do it, because your help is necessary. Your help is so important and needed. And if you feel that you are called to serve, if you want to be a county manager, you can do that as well. If you don't have the finances to donate, but you have the time to help, you have a skill that you can teach, we want to know about you. We want to hear about you. We want to involve you within this initiative, because you guys are part of the fabric of what we are building, and it is about supporting one another, all peoples. And so I really thank you, Ryan, and I thank you, Sharon, for being on this call today to really talk about the nitty-gritty of what we really do at this initiative, and why it's so important, and why it's different. Before we go, because we are running out of time, Sharon, are there any other little last minute updates that you want to share with us before we get out of here?
I just want to tell you that on the donation form, we have 3 different types of ways that you can donate. So you can give a one-time donation, you can give a monthly revolving. So just think about it. You want to donate something and, make an impact, do it monthly. But if you want to become an annual member, that's an option as well. So, go out, consider making an annual donation and be something that you renew every year for us.
That's excellent. That's pretty awesome.
In addition to those things, Angelica, if someone just reaches out, if you're post-incarcerated yourself and you have a story that you want to tell, please reach out to us. Let us hear those stories, success stories, struggles, and then things, because we're always looking to opportunities to help people as well. And
or if you're in a post-incarcerated patient and you need help, reach out to us.
Absolutely. They can reach out directly to me. They can go through the website, give us some information. They can reach out directly to me at ryan@returningyouth.com.
That's ryan@returningyouth.com. Thank you both so much for being here, for being on this in this conversation, and on this radio show. We are grateful to the both of you. Sharon, thank you for holding it down every single week and producing this show and making it so fantastic. And we are going to get out of here. So thank you all, and tune in next week, same time, on WPAT 9:30 a.m. That's from 3 to 4 every single Friday, East Coast time. And you can also find us at returningyouth.com, Returning Youth on Facebook, and Returning Youth on YouTube. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend.